Is this a pie or a pizza? Both. It's a rainbow fruit pizza. With 1.3 million views, she starts off with some cookie dough, but I gotcha. Save you some money, we're gonna make some. In my bowl, I'm just gonna add some butter, regular sugar, brown sugar, and whisk them all together until they're fluffy. Then I'm gonna add an egg, whisk it again, and now I'm just gonna add some baking soda, baking powder, a little bit of flour, our vanilla extract, and some salt. Nice and sticky, just perfect. And now I have a whole pizza pie pan that we're just gonna press the cookie dough right into it. Somebody said, this is great, awesome, I love it, but I think we've gone too far with the word pizza. This reminds me of what they have at Mrs. Fields at the mall. Now we can bake it off in the oven. And once it's done, it's this giant cookie. And I have to let it cool completely because she then spreads some kind of frosting right on top of the cookie. And I'm not sure exactly what it is, but somebody said mix cream cheese and marshmallow fluff for the icing. Are we doing the whole jar here? It's gonna be so sticky. I don't know if I've ever had this combination before, but I'm so tempted to try it. It's actually really good. Okay, now let's spread our icing. Oh, that just spreads so nicely. Like glue. And now it's time to build our masterpiece, starting with our strawberries, which I'll be chopping. Okay, now I do an outer ring. Now we're gonna move on to orange. Let's go ahead and peel this orange. Ta-da! Perfectly split segments. She lays it down like this. This is already looking so cute. Okay, but then she skips over yellow, and I feel like mango would have been such a good addition to this. And she moves right into the kiwi for the green, blueberries for the blue. I don't know about real pizza, but this is definitely a labor of love. And then another ring of maraschino cherries for red, raspberries, and then more strawberries right in the middle. Our masterpiece is done. For all of the work and art that went into this, I feel like she deserved way more views. I feel bad ruining this. It's one of those flimsy crust pizza. Somebody said technically it's healthy with all that fruit and all. Let's see how it tastes. This might be my new summer dessert. Is it too early to give out a 10 out of 10? But keep watching because I'm testing 8 more of the most viewed TikTok recipes, and some even have hundreds of millions of views. But is it as good as this? And now with 9 million views, we're making Korean corn dogs. Someone said my toxic trait is thinking I can do this. No problem. Same, but here we go. She starts off with already cut up mozzarella sticks and hot dogs cut in half. Now I gotta put them on corn dog sticks. She puts the hot dog at the bottom first and then adds the cheese. I'm using mozzarella so it's nice and stretchy. Well, someone said this looks good, but you pretty much have to work your way through the cheese in order to get the hot dog. And someone else said you should stack it like a kebab. I feel like this is the ratio of cheese to hot dog that I like in a corn dog. And now she coats her sticks in a little bit of flour and then freezes them for 5 minutes. So while our cheese dogs are freezing, she works on the pancake batter. I already have some flour in here. She adds a little bit of sugar and salt. And then her recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of baking powder, which someone said way too much baking powder. It left a really bitter aftertaste. I think she meant to say 3 teaspoons, which is basically a tablespoon. No bitter pancake batter here, just nice and fluffy. And now we add the milk and the egg and give it a final mix. But before dipping our dogs, she actually adds the batter into a cup, which someone called genius. But now she dips the hot dog stick into the batter, rolls it in some breadcrumbs, and drops it in the fryer. She doesn't actually show it frying though, so I'm not 100% confident about this. The cheese is starting to ooze out. Okay, now I understand why they have specific corn dog fryers, because these things won't stay down. Oh my gosh, the cheese is just oozing out. So we have our Korean corn dog, except she doesn't show it, but I've seen people have Korean corn dogs with a little bit of sugar, Kewpie mayo, and ketchup. I gotta work on my squiggles. I think this was my stacked kebab one. It's so hot. It actually just kind of falls apart and you don't get that epic cheese pool that you would normally. How long can I stretch this? Oh, so good. I actually like it better without the sugar, but overall, it's crispy, it's cheesy, it's gooey. 7 out of 10. This is an InNOut Cheeseburger with an order of animal-style fries. Except we're not gonna have that. This creator made her own version and got 13 million views. Want InNOut? We have it at home. Dead. But she starts off by grilling her onions for the animal-style deliciousness. I'm gonna add some butter, a little bit of oil, add our chopped onion, a little bit of salt, and some sugar to help it caramelize. I'm gonna let it cool and save it for later. And now she makes her special sauce. We're gonna add some mayo, ketchup, a little bit of relish, and it looks like she adds a nice dollop of her caramelized onions. Now let's mix it up. That actually looks pretty close to their special sauce. And now she butters and toasts her buns. And now we make the burger patty. She starts by rolling her beef balls straight into the pan. And since I normally only order a single cheeseburger, one patty will do. Sears the bottom, add some salt and pepper, and then she takes her burger smasher and smashes it down. Once she flips it over, she adds a little bit of mustard and an American cheese single. But before we build the burger, she also makes some animal style fries. With InNOut, they have those skinny, not crispy fries. They use a special potato, but I'm gonna use a yellow potato. And mine aren't as skinny as theirs, but that's okay. Unpopular opinion, I don't love InNOut skinny fries. I'm gonna salt them, and then we're gonna add it to our fry basket. She adds cheese on top of the potatoes, a little bit of the grilled onions, and sauce. And finally, our burger gets built. Burger bun, sauce, tomato, lettuce, patty, onion, bun. And here we have theirs and mine. Somebody said, not gonna lie, I work at InNOut and couldn't even tell those weren't their burgers. I mean, they look pretty similar. My fries are a little bit fatter, but hers looked on point. Let's give their classic a try first. Can't go wrong with InNOut. But did I make it just as good at home? The fluffy bun was the way to go. The meat patty is also much thicker, and with that swipe of mustard on top, it just brought out all the meaty, juicy flavor. InNOut vibes, I would say, but better. Now let's see the fries. I'm gonna get a cheesy piece. My fries may be a little soggy, but the flavor's there versus their skinny fries, which I would describe a little bit chalky. It's still crispier than mine, so I'll give the fries point to them. But this burger recipe, 9 out of 10. And now with 15 million views, I didn't think I could love sushi anymore, but this is a crispy rice waffle sushi. But before we make our crispy rice, let's go ahead and prep our toppings. Got an avocado and a cucumber, and then I'm gonna go wild and use salmon and tuna for extra color. So I was inspired by this sushi waffle, so I'm gonna cube up everything. Starting with the avocado. It's a perfect avocado right there. If you think these cubes look cool, wait till you see what I have in store. And now we make our crispy waffle rice. But someone said, I'm gonna need more detailed instructions on how to make the rice because mine did not turn out. It actually looks like she oiled her waffle maker, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna add a mix of regular oil and my favorite in sushi, sesame oil. I'm gonna add a pretty generous portion of a sushi rice. It looks like she mashes it down. Let's make sure I keep the heart shape. That sound is so satisfying. I'm adding an extra layer of oil just to make sure it gets nice and crispy, but it's still pale. It's been 10 minutes and I'm not even sure if it's done yet. My mouth is watering. I can't wait any longer. We're gonna take it off. It's definitely crispy. Now let's build our work of art. Some of the pieces are a little bigger than I expected, so I'm gonna have to cut them all down. Somebody said this would cost like $35. It is a work of art. I don't know, but this is a lot harder than it looks. I'm seeing a little pattern here. Ta-da! And then this creator dabs it with a little bit of what looks like wasabi, but I'm using spicy yuzu. And now let's go back to the original where she starts with some eel sauce, a little bit of Kewpie mayo, sriracha. Someone said it'd be amazing with furikake. My mouth is watering, but now the strange thing is she adds a little bit of lime juice. Sushi my heart. I like the crispy rice, but it's kind of chewy, and I think I much rather would just fry it for that extra crispiness without the chew, but it is delicious. 8 out of 10. And now with 50 million views, we have something called walking tacos, where you basically use a bag of Doritos to make your tacos, except it's more like nachos. But she starts by cutting her bag, corners first, and then straight through like this. And somebody said, why have I never thought to cut the bag sideways? So much easier to scoop. Thanks for the tip. But now she runs through her whole family's order. Her daughter only wanted lettuce with these chips. Her son only wanted cheese and sour cream, which makes a little bit more sense, but she does the works, and that sounds good to me, so that's exactly what we're gonna be doing. Her chips look kind of crushed, so that hurts me. But first, we got an order for lettuce, nacho cheese, and sour cream. Check. It looks like she adds tomatoes in hers, so I gotta chop this one up. Let's build our walking taco. She starts by adding some taco meat to all of them. Funny how I already had that handy. And then she adds some cheese, shredded lettuce, tomatoes, sour cream, and finally, a nice squirt of hot sauce. People are all saying the purple bag is the best, but someone else said, I'm not sure if this is a terrible idea or a good idea. And I'm gonna have to say I share the same sentiment. Nacho Bel Grande recommended. This is really good. 8 out of 10. And now with 60 million views, we have the Minecraft lava chicken. Every time I look back at this video, the views just keep growing and growing and growing. But this creator starts by opening up all of his hot sauces and dumps it into a bowl with what looks like melted butter. I definitely saw some Tabasco and Frank's hot sauce. I think we're making spicy buffalo sauce. And now he chops suey, opens up his chicken. Ugh. Probably had a sharper knife than mine. He didn't show you, but you gotta clean out the guts of a chicken. This is called the gizzard. The good stuff. And now to season it, he adds olive oil, paprika, garlic powder, and salt on the outside. And then he stuffs the inside with some thyme, rosemary, garlic, and lemon. This should flavor it from inside out. But he makes it even more fiery by injecting it with this lava sauce. Pump you up. And if you guys saw last week's video, this thing is pretty cool. And now we're gonna dump the rest of the lava right on top. It's lava time! Someone said this is the first IRL lava chicken. Somebody else said, bro, how did he make it so blocky like the lava chicken? Absolutely cinema. Well, let me show you how. Here's my take. I have some breadcrumbs that I'm gonna add a little bit of milk and let it get soggy. And then here I have some ground chicken. We're gonna add some eggs, almost same as the last one, some garlic powder, paprika, onion powder, a little salt, herbs to make it flavorful, and some sauces. And then dump our breadcrumbs back in and then just mix it all up. And now to shape it into a blocky chicken, I'm gonna use this square meatloaf pan and we're gonna cut it up later. Gotta make sure it's nice and smooth. Let's cook it. The loaf is almost done, but I have one more thing to do. It's time to carve our blocky chicken. Okay, I gotta carve out the body. I think it should be a little bigger like that. And then these two are gonna be our legs. They're also gonna shrink when I finish cooking them, so right now I'm just gonna paint them with some spicy sauce. Get it looking nice and lava-like. And now we'll just finish cooking it. Our blocky lava chicken is done cooking. So now it's time for the fake out. A skewer right here, because that's gonna connect the legs like that. I also have a chicken drumstick to make it look super realistic. I don't know if I nailed it or not, but somebody said, not gonna lie, they should have given the Minecraft collaboration to KFC. It's spicy, it's lava. 8 out of 10. Actually pretty good. And now with 110 million views, we have a classic Fetchini Alfredo. So she starts off by adding a whole stick of butter. I'm going to half this recipe. So once the butter's all melted, she adds in a whole cup of heavy cream, to which someone said this would literally send me to the bathroom for hours. So once she adds the cream and they kind of mix together, she adds in her seasoning. Salt, pepper, and Italian seasoning. Somebody said, no garlic? That's a crime. And now she lets it get nice and bubbly before adding a whole cup of grated Parmesan or shredded Parmesan. The sauce is getting a little bit thicker. I'm hoping the Parmesan's not going to stick to the bottom, because that's usually what happens to me. She does a nice cheese pool. I don't think I'm quite there yet. Now she adds in a handful of parsley and then dumps in her fettuccine. Someone said I didn't know what fettuccine was and I was scared to ask, but now I'm definitely ordering it from Olive Garden. I feel like this recipe might be better. Get that luscious creamy sauce. It looks like she lets it thicken up a little bit more before hitting it with more parsley. Someone else said this recipe looks like a 10 out of 10, but it's gonna reheat horribly. It's so rich and buttery. But that's, I guess, what makes it good. Definitely better than Olive Garden, but man, 8 out of 10. And now with 170 million views, these are Nutella stuffed pancakes. Bro, I have trust issues. I thought that was slime. And she doesn't show you, but in her recipe, it says to freeze some dollops of Nutella. That may be too much or too little for the pancake. We'll find out. And now to make the pancake batter, she starts by cracking 2 eggs into her wooden bowl, adds a little bit of maple syrup, it looks like, some sugar, mixes them up, and then we add the dry ingredients, flour, and now she adds water, but I think I'm gonna add milk. And then her recipe also says to use vanilla essence. My batter looks a lot thicker than what she shows. Maybe I'm gonna add a little bit of water. Okay, that looks pretty good. And now let's make our stuffed pancake. And now once it cooks a little bit, she adds her Nutella. And I can confirm that 5 minutes is nowhere long enough to add the Nutella because it's still kind of sticky and does not look like hers. Then she adds a little more batter on top of the Nutella, spreads it out so it covers. You kind of gotta work fast here. I'm hoping it has that beautiful golden brown color like hers at the bottom. Oh yes, that's so satisfying. Perfectly smooth. But somebody said, just make pancakes and spread the Nutella. What a waste of time. Very artistic, very careful, very beautiful. But now the most satisfying part of it all is when she breaks it open and squeezes the Nutella. Somebody said, only people that watch Doraemon will know what this is called. It's a dorayaki. I'm surprised there was no butter or oil in this whole recipe. The pancake's a little dry, but the Nutella makes it just taste so good. 8 out of 10. But if you like this video, go watch me test the most viewed TikTok desserts.